the best thing about playing Dr. Karl has been that he's deeply, deeply flawed as a person and as a personality. And the fact that Susan continued to love him for 31 years on and off is a miracle. I'm Alan Fletcher, and Midnight with Tack and Matty is the best fun you can have standing up.
G'day.
Welcome to Bin Night with Tack and Matty. I'm Takaya, a.k.a. Tack, and he's...
Matthew. I am Matthew.
a.k.a. Matty in the context of our name. Now it's Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
I hope you're having a lovely time with your families at home. I hope if you're in Australia that it's a nice, warm, sunny day because we're recording this before, so I don't actually know yet. I grew up a lot with rainy Christmas days that I remember in Sydney. I feel like Sydney just happens to rain on Christmas Day and then every other day it's fine, which wasn't so bad because you'd get like, I don't know, a Nintendo and then you'd sit there playing it all day. I mean, at least I would.
You spoiled piece of shit.
No, but see, this is the thing.
Did you?
This is the thing. Growing up, we would get like one big present and then like a few tiny ones. Whereas some people get like a whole lot of medium presents, right? Yeah. And also that would be a present for both me and my brother. So while it's like, oh my God, you got this. It's like, well, it was ours. And my dad also wanted to play it. So, you know, that's my explanation of it.
I'll tell you what, I've realized there's massive differences between Jess, my wife, and I, because we've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. The 1-year-old's not going to know what's happening. The 2-year-old's starting to get it. So this is when you need to make an effort. And the 4-year-old, he is so all over it. He's been telling our Amazon Alexa to add things to his Christmas list and he's been, oh God, I should read it out one day. But Jess has taken on the role of sort of organizing what presents the kids get. And we were going through it the other day, so many things. So many presents under this giant blanket, and I'm saying and then she has the audacity to say to me, she's already bought them. She bought them a long time ago. A big planner. She's so good. She's so good. I'd be lost, or I'd be shopping this weekend. But she before Christmas. But she has the audacity to ask me, "Hey, what we still need to get them a big thing." And I'm like, what do you mean a big thing? They have more things that I got in 10 Christmases alone. Every Christmas, her family got so many presents. They got showered in presents because, their mum and dad just love them so much that they just wanted them to have the best time ever. Whereas my parents were like...
How many presents you get is not determinant of how much you are loved, Matthew.
Yeah, well, if your love language is giving something to someone, then maybe it is. And if you've got 2 of those as parents, you're in for a bad time. But,
so does that mean I can tell Ari when he grows up, I'm sorry, Ari, gift giving's just not part of my love language, so you're not getting many gifts.
Sorry, Ari. Well, that's what I'd be saying to my kids. I'm like my parents would actually threaten. I actually got one year a lump of coal. If you don't behave, you'll get a lump of coal. And I got.
What did you do that year to earn the lump of coal?
No, that was it. I can't even remember. It was something mundane, like
as if
hitting another kid at school. No, that wasn't me. It was I don't know what it was, but I actually got a lump of coal, and maximum I'd say 5 presents, I reckon, and one of those was a socks and undies, or maybe 2 of those were socks or undies. And I'm just coming to terms now. I'm saying, hey, babe, we gotta pull up here because these kids, you're setting the bar. This is it. This is what you set for the rest of our life. If you set this too high, we're done. And I'm gonna have to get a better job because I can't afford this Christmas lifestyle.
Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law are the same with their kids, and Amy and I are both like, well, we're not wanting to like give them 100 presents Christmas time, or like give Ari 100 presents at Christmas time. So we're like in this awkward position of like, how do we go to Christmas with them, which will be next year for Ari's first one with them, and not have him, well, unfortunately he'll still be 1, so he won't, well, he'll be nearly 2, but he won't be too aware of what's going on. But if they're getting like present after present after present after present after present, and then he gets his few, which would be great presents, how does we not
Oh
let
my
him
God,
feel
public
like,
shaming.
oh,
Yeah.
why didn't I get more? But we don't want to fill his life with a whole bunch of stuff that, like, because you see, like, even with my niece and nephew, or with Amy's stepdad's kids, they get given heaps of stuff, and they don't remember at the end of the
such a power move. Lets
but
me
it's
know
like,
that Tak and Amy are
if you
coming
ask them at the end
over.
of the day, what did you enjoy the most? And they're like, oh, I don't know. You know, because they
I
got
can't
so many
remember
things.
what I got.
2 days later, they don't know. They can't remember any of the presents. Whereas I still remember getting a Nintendo, don't I?
Yeah.
Tell you what I do.
Well, you remember every single thing that's happened to you in your entire life.
That's not true.
Does Amy do this to you? Does she say, like, we've had times where we might have spent a lot of money that year, we bought our first house or whatever, and we're like, hey, for Christmas this year, let's not get each other anything, all right? Let's just go out for dinner, or we'll get one small thing, like we'll just write a letter to each other. Mm-hmm. Every single year, I end up with 5 more things that she gives me, and then she looks at me like I'm supposed to have done the same thing. She's like, I didn't really mean it. Like, come on, man.
Well, if she does it every
set me
time,
up
Matt, you
like
should have
that.
learnt by now. How long have you been together?
Yeah, I know, but it's look. I don't know if you've ever played golf. You remember the good shots. You never remember the bad ones. I do that on an hourly basis. I immediately delete whatever I didn't like.
That's very true. I think that's your positive mental health situation versus me, who remembers all of the mistakes and none of the good things. So,
oh man, put me in a
one of the
war
reasons
zone.
why
I'll be laughing if you just give it an hour.
My dad is obsessed with golf, and I had private lessons growing up because he wanted me to play golf. And look, I can hit a ball. I can hit a ball pretty well, but it's too much. Just there's not enough action for me going on in the game. There's too much walking between things. I can go to a hitting range, have a lot more fun there.
Poor Tacky.
But just hit the ball, and now I've got to walk. And if I hit it badly, I've got a whole bloody 100 meters of me thinking about how crap my shot was.
You sound like a golfer's wife talking.
That's why I like baseball. If you hit a foul, you got another ball coming in 10 seconds. You know,
jeez,
got to move on.
Cricket.
Keep moving forward. My brain needs things to focus on.
Yeah, right. Hey, I had a bit of a milestone, a little bit of a parent milestone this week.
Oh yeah.
So our 4-year-old has fallen in love.
Oh,
he's in love, and he just goes. I'm just going to use a different name here, so we'll just go.
For him or Penny. For?
Huh?
Oh, Penny's the love
for
interest.
her. Yeah. For Penny's. Yeah. So he goes. He just comes home. Oh no, we're packing the car after the beach. We've been hanging out with Penny and her parents and the other kids, and he's going, Daddy. Yeah, mate, one sec. Daddy. Yeah, mate, just give me a sec. Daddy. What's up, mate? What's up? And he goes, I think I love Penny. We were like, what? And then he goes like this, and he goes, yeah, I do. I love Penny. He slaps his hands on his face like the Home Alone face after he's put the shaving cream on his face. And he's like,
that's amazing.
And then the whole time he's just been talking about her. He's been asking us to send videos. He's like, hey, I just want to say something. And then we're on the way to see them again. And I had to have a talk to him because he was so excited to show her the Lego. And I'm like, mate, just so you know, everything that I like and love, other people might not like and love. They might not be that interested in it. And same with you. Penny might not like Lego that much. So please don't be upset if she says that she doesn't care about your Lego, because I know it's going to break his heart. Anyway, we get there and he's conscious and he's like, Lego? She's like, what? And he goes, do you like Lego? She's like, maybe. And then he just launches into this pitch on this Ninjago Lego kit he's just built. Super cute. And then
you're teaching him to be a salesman on top of how to be a lover. He's got to pitch his Lego now.
No, that's right. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I'll give you an update later. if you're enjoying what we're giving you by asking our old cast members questions that they probably don't really want to answer, or at least they don't want to tell a journalist, then please do us a favor. Hit like, subscribe, or follow on whatever platform you're listening to, because that'll help us go a long, long way.
And I know you just, when Matty starts talking like that, you tune out because you've heard him say like, subscribe, blah, 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 and you just go, oh, just waiting for the good bit to start. No, just literally right now, push the button. It costs you nothing. And I'm just going to keep talking until you push the button. So just push the button. It helps with Mission hashtag Mission Margot, hashtag Can We Get Kylie, hashtag Get Guy. If you want these people on, then you've got to hit the subscribe button or the follow button or whatever the button is. All right? Just push the button right now.
Hey, chill. Someone's got to hose you down, boy.
You know, we're not too proud to admit we like to take care of ourselves. Maybe even a little luxury when it comes to our faces.
The old moneymaker.
We all know that's not your moneymaker, buddy.
Yeah, all right, enough from you. A huge hello and thank you to our brand partner and beauty partner, beautyboat.com.
If you're living in the UK, you can visit the website and order from a huge range of gorgeous skincare products to help reveal your natural radiance.
Sorry, Australia. This one is just for our friends in the United Kingdom. But if you are in Australia, you can still send a gift back to your friends and family in the UK through beautyboat.com.
If you're living in the UK, you can visit the website and order from a huge range of gorgeous skincare products to help reveal your natural radiance. Thank you to beautyboat.com for being not only our official beauty partner here at Midnight, but also for being there for all of your beauty needs.
All of them. Tak, who have we got this week?
We have someone who really doesn't need an introduction, pretty much like all of our guests, but we're going to give him one anyway. Alan Fletcher. We all call him Fletch. Even I was at April's wedding with Alan and his lovely wife, Jen. And I said to Jen, oh, where's Alan or something? And she was like, sorry, what? I said, where's Fletch? And she's like, oh, he's... She is so used to everyone calling him Fletch that she doesn't even respond when someone uses his name. But maybe I just mumbled it or something too. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. It's like, everyone calls him Fletch. He is like on set, he's like the union leader, and he literally was like the union guy for us. But he is so good at corralling us and keeping us all together. He's a brilliant actor. He's acted in a crazy amount of things. And if you hadn't seen, what was his show called? The Doctor Will See You Now. I got the privilege of seeing it when he did a show in Melbourne. It was very good. And if he brings it back, you should see it, just to give him a little bit of a plug. Otherwise, you're probably going to have seen him or had seen him playing his music, because that's become a huge part of his and Jen's life. They're writing a lot of music together now. And there may be a surprise later on.
The Doctor Will See You Now.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, yeah, Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas to all of you and to all the listeners. If you want a happy Christmas, come along with me. Forget about the presents under your Christmas tree. I've got a Christmas song for you a bit later, a little video that we can pop in.
Why did you start doing Christmas songs?
I love Christmas music. I always have. I've been actually collecting it. I have a CD cabinet downstairs for both of you two. A CD is a round silver disc that goes into a machine and magically plays music.
Yes, I'm very young, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I have a CD cabinet downstairs, which is full of somewhere around the 2,000, 2,500 CDs, and probably about maybe 200 of those are Christmas songs.
Wow.
Where did this obsession with Christmas music come from?
Well, I just think that, you know, in the 12 months of the year that we go through, 1.5 of those months can be taken up with joyous, happy, fun, message-orientated music that can be uplifting and just make us feel extremely happy. In fact, what we should be saying here is it's not necessarily Christmas music, but holiday season music. And I love it. I just love it.
That's a very academic answer, but surely
I
this
know.
started before you were so academic about it. Like, were you, as a little kid, were you really drawn to Christmas music?
Or is it just about the money?
I'm sorry. Can I just invite you both to respond? How do the endorphins go in your brain when you hear someone go jingle bells, jingle all the way?
If it's you singing, it's a whole different set of endorphins.
Yeah.
It gives you an explosion of endorphins. You know, no one can go past Michael
does.
Bublé singing "Let It Snow."
Well, I would argue that some people can. So it is, you're applying your experience to everyone, which is what I'm asking is, like, was it you as a kid, or as right now, you are just filled with so much joy by this music?
Yeah, totally. I've always loved it. I mean, as a boy, a young lad, I used to be sent to Sunday school. I'm actually an atheist, but I used to be sent to Sunday school, and around Christmas time there was lots of singing of Christmas carols. So, yes, they've always been a huge part of my life when I was a kid growing up.
So it's not about the cash.
It's not
Is it
about the
the
cash,
money
Matty.
music,
There's not a
Christmas
lot of
music?
cash in. There's not a lot of cash in any music, really. I've got to say.
I feel like you're an incredibly entrepreneurial person. Every
Yeah.
creative aspect that you pursue always turns into some sort of entrepreneurial business kind of venture. But every time you tell me that you're generally losing money on all of them. So...
I am. The only thing I've ever made money on is Neighbours. Everything else I've done, you lose money. Because
You really are.
It's lucky you're such a good actor, I guess. I think that's the...
well, I don't know about that, but what I do know is that sometimes when you're following your passion, if you're an artist on any level, and I'm being serious here, if you're a painter or a musician or whatever you are as an artist, a poet, you're probably going to struggle to make a lot of money. I think the average income for artists in Australia is, according to the Australia Council, is somewhere south of $15,000 a year. So, yes, you're not going to live on your art a lot of the time, but the joy it brings you far exceeds the lack of remuneration.
The irony being that even though it brings you a lot of joy, because you get to do so little of it, I think the stat is that mental illness issues are 13 times higher than the average, which is pretty tough.
That's very much the case. I mean, there's certainly mental health's a big thing in the creative industries, but that comes down to your own preparedness for it. And you have to actually go into creative ventures knowing full well that they're not likely to sustain you financially. But
I don't know about you guys, but I've earned a ton of money from Neighbours. How much were you on?
How much was I on? More than you, Matty.
I'll never forget one of the conversations we had just on set was we were talking about merchandise and how much you can buy a pen for, how much you can get it shipped to a customer for in a special card with a special written letter. And it was something like, by the time it gets to them, it's $13 and they've only paid $10. And you would have done thousands of those over the years.
Is a complete and unknown beast. You go to the post office with a parcel that you mailed last week for $3 and they say that'll be $16. And I go, what happened? And they go, oh, it's 6 millimeters thick and it has to be 5. Postage is the bane of my life.
With all of these creative endeavors that you do, how much of it for you in the balance of things is for things that you creatively want to fulfill versus things that you're doing for the fans and the audience? Because you do so much for the fans.
So much.
Sometimes you're earning money off of it. I mean, that's fine. And sometimes you're losing money on it, and people think you're earning money on it. So yeah, like, is the main driver coming from your desire to be creative or to give people something?
There's no question that's all it is. And I started when I started my sort of website thing and doing birthday messages for subscribers and so forth. The dividend has been, particularly this year, guys, because when I went touring this year, there were a whole bunch of people came to every gig who had been to my gigs before, and they're my subscribers, and I know an enormous amount about their lives. I know I know their husbands and wives. I've done birthday messages for people. I know about grandparents who are unwell. So it's kind of, it's a family in a way of supporters, and they are a coterie of really, really dedicated people, and I've been building that since 2016 or something, 2015, and really paying a lot of attention to it, and it makes a huge difference because it means when you do a gig, you're actually playing a gig to people who, one, have been listening to your music on Spotify and Apple Music, have been coming to your gigs time and time again, and they're kind of with you. And that's how you build an audience. I've never had a bad fan experience. I enjoy saying hi to people. I enjoy meeting people at gigs. I don't know what that says about me psychologically. I'm sure there's a theory on it. Maybe I'm a narcissist. I don't know. Egotist, possibly.
I think, possibly. No, I think that you are generally curious about people. Has there been a standout or multiple of people that have just been incredibly interesting who've come up to you and you've said, hey, who are you?
Almost every single time. And I reckon this is a life lesson. I kind of always try to remind myself of it, because when I go to a party, do you find this? When you go to a party, you think, oh, crap, I don't want to be here. Like I've got to make conversation with people. I'm just going to be talking about the same thing. They're going to ask me what's happening with Neighbours. I'm just going to run through my CV, and I'm going to ask them what they do for a living and blah, 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 blah. So, but if you apply yourself and ask the right questions, you find out that everybody has got a story. Everybody has got something interesting going on. And a lot of the times, the people you think are going to be boring and you're not going to have a great time, you find out that they've almost completed their second novel, or you know what I mean?
I 100% agree with you. I remember going to one of my school reunions, and obviously everyone's talking to me, asking me those same questions or whatever. And the thing is that I know that that's interesting for people. I get it. But the flip side to what you're saying is a lot of people don't think their lives are interesting. So asking those questions can sometimes be difficult because they're so dismissive of themselves. They're like, oh, I just work in an office or whatever. And I go to them, I don't. So what you do is actually interesting. Like, really tell me more about that, or asking them what the interests are and going into that kind of stuff. So it is a matter of, this is a message to everyone out there that your life is interesting and worth talking about. I'm telling you. And like Fletch says, when he meets people on the street who come up, they are very interesting. So that's our PSA, I guess, Fletch.
There used to be this book called The Game by Neil Strauss. I think it was about trying to pick up, right? That was the main reason for it. And I think I read it when I was like 15. Pick up artistry, something like that. And it actually changed my life, that. And I'll tell you why. And it's not because of how to pick up girls or whatever.
So how old were you when you lost your virginity then, Matt? Was it around 15?
Hopefully next week. The 3 kids say otherwise. The thing that I took from that was this guy said, look, all you have to do in a conversation, if you're nervous to have a conversation with someone, all you have to do is take a genuine interest in them, in their lives. If no matter what they say, find out about it. Find out if it's exciting. Find out if they had a bad day. Whatever it is, have a genuine interest in it. And like you said, every single person has something that they're proud of. And if you can get to that point, you can have one of the best conversations you've ever had, and you can never pick who it's going to be with.
So you how long you been back, Fletch, from your tour?
I got back in October. I thought I went straight in to have a rotator cuff injury repaired. I'm just out of the sling now. That's been waiting for 2 years, I reckon.
Is that from swinging the arm playing guitar?
No, that's probably from lifting something inappropriately over about 35 years. Right? I mean, it's not an uncommon
Something
injury.
in particular?
Is it that heavy, Fletch? Is it? You really?
Suitcases, boys. Suitcases. Yeah, basically, my shoulder was tired, and and a little bit frayed and so forth, and split, so it's been sewn up. So that's not an uncommon thing, because I know that I look 50, but I am actually 54, and these things happen once you get over 50.
54.
It's happened
That's
to me
way
already.
older than I thought.
I'm not tracking too well. I thought it would have been from all your years of trying to learn the art of golf.
Yeah, well, interestingly, the rotator cuff doesn't play an enormous amount in a golf swing. So
Is that right?
yes, but I have.
Oh yeah, because you're sort of twisting your body, right?
But I actually have hit, when I was playing golf, I used to hit the ground a lot, Matty. I used to dig my way around a golf course.
I know.
So it's good.
I've seen
It's a
this
good
many
You've
times.
seen me.
Some of the best videos on my phone are of you, like landscaping a golf course. Shot
So
after
yeah,
shot.
I reckon every time I hit the ground, I did some damage.
Did you get to play golf when on your tour at all?
No, but the drummer bought his golf clubs. He used to rush off at every moment possible to have a hit or whatever. I haven't actually swung a club for about 18 months, and I will get into it next year when this is fully healed and I have a little bit of time to do it. But I'm actually planning next year's tour now, so that's taking a lot of my time.
When's the rough, let's say, months that you're going to be there?
Well, I love being on the road. This is the thing. So this year I was on the road for 10 weeks. I think it'll be a bit longer. I reckon I'll be heading over to the UK for September, October, and then a little holiday in November before heading back. So, the better part of the last sort of quarter of the year at least. And, I've got a lot planned.
This is a shout out to all of our listeners and viewers out there that if this podcast does well, Matty and I have an ambition to come to the UK and do a bit of a podcast tour. So share this with your friends, etc. Like it, blah, 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 blah. You know all that stuff. Because if we can time it out, we might be able to have a Fletch on stage playing for the podcast live for you all. So I'm just saying, if we make this really popular and successful, we can make it work.
You guys both played doctors, and I've always wondered that. Do you obviously you get a lot of storylines where you have to use dialogue words that you're not used to. Do you ever confuse your character with real life? And when someone has a problem, you think you know what's up?
Yeah, I think I've been doing that. I've been doing that all my life. No, I mean Dr. Google is fantastic. Dr. Karl on Neighbours actually survived on Dr. Google. He actually, because he was across every medical discipline known to mankind. So
he was too, wasn't he?
Well, I would argue he wasn't very across them. He just attempted them and said that he was across them.
Well, I think when Dr. Karl used a hand drill to relieve a subdural hematoma out in the field, that was probably a Google situation.
From Fletch or Dr. Karl?
Dr. Karl. I've never given medical advice. I steadfastly avoid that. But my father used to ring me up all the time and say, "Hey, Fletch, this is happening. What do you reckon it is?" and I'd have to say, "I reckon you should go and see your doctor." But I do actually have. I do take an unnatural interest in medical stuff. Like I said to my shoulder surgeon, can I see the video of the operation? Because I'm just really fascinated by the fact that they can punch 3 tiny little holes in your shoulder and actually go in there and stick pins into bones, sew stuff up, cut stuff and relocate it through 3 little holes. So I want to see that. Now, that fascinates me. And when you when you go and get a blood test and there's a list of about 16 things and they're all just 3 capitals, I want to know what each one of those is and why it is what it is. That's
a desire to know.
Yeah.
Were you a kid growing up who always asked why?
Yeah, well, I mean, in school, my father's an industrial chemist, my older brother's an industrial chemist. I was sort of around the 85% marks in chemistry, similar in physics, and in mathematics I excel.
So you went, I'm really good at the sciences, that means I'm going to be an actor.
Exactly, because the sciences are full of good people anyway. They don't need me.
What's an industrial chemist? Is that like?
Well, my father actually got an Order of Australia for his research into paint chemistry. Dad was a chemist in the paint industry. So he would devise paints that would do things like, for instance, he devised a coat of paint for ships that would last double the length of time that paint would normally last on a ship. So thereby saving the shipping industry millions and millions and millions of dollars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So industrial chemists are people who devise chemical formulations in order for industrial practices. And basically the world couldn't go around without them.
When did you start? How old were you when you started acting? And what did industrial chemist dad think about it?
Well, I was 12 when I had my first performance as the Gypsy King in the play Little Gypsy Gay. I did plays all through my school days with two fabulous drama teachers. Then I went to university and immediately joined the University Dramatic Society and ended up running it. And when I was 20, I went professional. And my industrial chemist father never said anything about it, never said boo. And years later, I said to him, Dad, what was the situation? Were you not disappointed in me? And he said, no, because my my drama teacher in school had said to my father, if your son ever shows an inclination to be an actor, don't stop him. And he respected that. So that was beautiful. Jean Bamford, the dear Jean Bamford, who was my English teacher, who put us through tons and tons of plays. So Dad never said boo to me, and he was always very proud of the fact that as an actor I did manage to make a success of my career.
You know, I have a similar story. Same thing happened. It was a parent-teacher kind of interview thing, and my drama teacher told my parents basically the same thing, because I was quite good in the academic side of things as well, but they said, he's got something and you should let him pursue it, type thing. So isn't that funny? We had such a similar story. How about you, Matty? Did you have any of that?
Look, I often think about this. It's come back around to me. So at school, I think we're thinking year 5, year 6, there was a school play and I got in. I auditioned and I got in. This was very exciting. And the role that I got was the tree. So I dressed up in a tree costume and my sole job was to sit there and be perfectly still. And I was so proud because I was there the whole time. I was seeing the crowd was looking at me the whole time. I didn't jump off the stage. And you know what happened at the end of the play? There was a guy next to me. I remember his name, Mark Kaladi. And a person came up and said, wow, Mark, you were so good. That tree didn't move the whole time. How did you stay still the whole time? Someone else got the credit for staying still the whole time. And that was my first ever acting gig. And then yesterday, my 4-year-old son goes, we were doing some sort of role play thing. And he goes, Dad, you can be the tree. And I nearly cried.
Oh, back to your origins. Well, it's nice to know you started out as a tree and you've been branching out from there.
Here we go. What else you got?
Oh, very good.
So your Neighbours.
The original dad jokes coming through.
Sorry, Matty.
Speaking of dad, speaking of dad,
dad jokes.
No, because me and Matty have obviously in recent years for Matty and the recent year for me have recently become dads. And you've been a dad for a while now and an actor since, as you said, 20 professionally. What have you learnt over that period in terms of being an actor, being a dad at the same time, and how to fulfill both of those things, which both can be very demanding?
Well, this is one of the great things about Neighbours and working on Neighbours for a very long period of time. It meant that as my kids were growing up, because my daughter was born in the first year I was on Neighbours, right? So I was in the Kennedy house. I had a 1-year contract. I thought, fantastic. I've got a little bit of money to help with the fact we've got a new baby on the way. And then, of course, my Neighbours contract, I had 31 1-year contracts for Neighbours.
So you only ever got 1 year?
Well, on the contract, officially it was 1 year. There were options, but they could always not have taken them up. So, that was the situation. And then my son came along and I was still on Neighbours. And I thought, well, this is kind of cool. And it meant that for the entirety of their childhood years, right up until the time they went to universities, that I could be there day in, day out. I could take them to school, pick them up from school a lot of the time. And my son and I could go down the park and kick footies. Now, for a lot of other actors, they have to take jobs wherever they can get them, and they're often away from home for prolonged periods and things. So I counted myself as being blessed that I could spend all that time with my kids.
So your advice is to me and Matty, go back in time and be on the show earlier and have kids earlier, and stay for 31 years.
Thanks, Fletch. Thanks.
I mean,
really good timing with that.
Yeah. Now, obviously, my situation was unique, but I was lucky enough to be around them the whole time, and that I think, that's one aspect of it. The biggest aspect, I suppose, with the kids was just to trust them to find their own way. I mean, they're both completely different children, and not try and sort of twist them into being what you want them to be, but to try and find out what they want to be and encourage them to be it.
Did they ever struggle with having a dad so famous?
No. They never watched Neighbours. They had no real cognizance of any notoriety I had, other than sometimes a kid at school would go, "Is your dad on the telly?" They just saw it as a job. It's just a job that people do. Some people are on the telly. Bear in mind that their mother was also a Channel 10 newsreader.
Of course, yeah.
Every night. So she was more on the telly in their head than I was. So, But that I don't think... I'm pretty sure my daughter Veronica certainly has never watched an episode of Neighbours.
I'm not sure how to feel about that. It's like...
Well, I mean, it's actually really, it's great, because it's actually really a levelling experience, is to realise that, in fact, you do something you think's important and a lot of other people watch you, and that's fantastic. But for a lot of people, it just means nothing. That doesn't add up to a hill of beans, as they say.
Very, very humbling.
And so Jen is, for those who don't know, Jen has been in the industry for as long as you, would you say?
Well, I mean, she's considerably younger than me, Matty. Jen started out in journalism.
26 next week. Is it 26?
So, just a little bit north of that, but south of what you think she might be. She started out at Channel 10 as a journalist.
I don't know. I think you were trying to avoid being offensive then, but I don't know if it worked.
I'm trying to avoid sort of giving any indication of my wife's age, because she prefers I don't.
Dangerous territory.
But she started out at Channel 10 as a journalist and eventually became the longest-serving newsreader, I think, ever in Australian TV, with Mal Walden as 10 years. They read the Channel 10 news. Then eventually she left Channel 10, went to ABC, did some ABC work, and then 9.5 years breakfast radio at Smooth FM. And now, actually, at my instigation, I encouraged her to leave Smooth and come on the road with me and play piano and sing with me. So now we are travelling the world playing music together.
Did you tell her that she's going to lose a lot of money doing it?
Well, she actually asked me to be her negotiator for Smooth. And I kind of orchestrated the negotiation so she could come on the road with me.
Does she know this, or is this coming out now?
No, she was fully cognizant of that. It was definitely time for her to move on, and she's having a fantastic time. She's just released her own EP of music. There's 6 songs. Her musical name is Jennifer Hansen, her maiden name. So if anyone's interested, they can pop out onto their streaming services. I'm starting to do ads now, boys. It's getting to this.
What do you mean starting to do ads?
No, do it. We'll put all this information in a caption as well.
Yeah, so Jennifer Hansen on all the streamers, and we've done lots of duets together, and we actually specialise in doing a lot of duets together. So, it's enormous fun, and there's nothing more pleasurable than doing something with your partner that is satisfying, and you don't fight. So, yeah.
I was going to ask that. Like, you're now working, living together, touring together. That's a lot of time together. Is that does it cause any tensions, or have you risen above it? Which it seems you very much have.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we've been married for a long time, and in excess of 30 years. And in that time, we've had our ups and downs. We've had our little, our traumas and our happy times. And basically, we're destined to be together. We know that. And so every single time we've worked through anything that came in our way. And now we're at a point where we just sit there and go, there's nothing that's going to worry us about each other, because we just smile at each other and go. We actually have a song about it, but it's actually about recognising, learning to love your partner's flaws. this is where I get a bit sort of philosophical. My favourite philosopher is Alain de Botton. He's an English philosopher, and he does lectures on love. And Jen and I went to one of his lectures, and a keynote of that lecture was exactly that idealistic romantic love doesn't last forever. And eventually egos get in the way and people want to be right and they want to try and change their partner to be something they want them to be. It doesn't work. You've just got to sit back and go, look at my gorgeous partner there. She's pontificating again, or she's extrapolating this into that, or she's making something up in a chat. Isn't she cute? It's you got to learn to love it, basically, and it can be fun. As soon as you sit there and sit back and look at your partner's foibles and go, they're gorgeous. Everything goes away.
Like I talk about my dog, like my pet, like your pet. Like, aren't they cute? Oh, they just sat on the lawn. Isn't that cute?
Well, it is. It's kind of like that. It's not condescending though, in the sense that you're actually sitting there going, I'm not going to let anything perturb me. I'm just going to sit back and say, oh, there you are again. You're doing that thing. And they go, what thing? And you say, it's a thing you do, which I adore. I mean, we're very lucky too, because we're kind of past the stuff that a lot of people argue about. Like, I think when you're growing up with your partner and you're having children and things like that, there's all sorts of tensions come into a relationship, like dealing with the kids and schools and work and friends and all that sort of stuff, and people's relationships falling apart around you. But as you get older, you actually sit there and a lot of that stuff disappears. So Jen and I actually have the luxury of spending a lot of time in each other's company, where we're actually just sitting there looking for ways to have fun, not having to solve life problems all the time.
It reminds me, heard it was like a divorce lawyer or something, and he said, if people just waited until their kids went to school before talking to him, he wouldn't make any money.
Yeah,
because it's the most hectic time when you've got so much to do. You're not sleeping, you're arguing about things, you're still trying to figure out your parenting style and how to make a good human, and sometimes you don't have the same idea. And that's when it's the hottest. But as soon as they go to school, all of a sudden the kid becomes a little bit more independent, and you step back and you can look at your partner and go, oh, hey, forgot about you, and start again.
Well, yeah, I forgot about you being the key thing. We're in a relationship podcast. This is fabulous.
We're in a whatever this is podcast, I think.
Yeah, but look, I think it's fair to say a lot of relationships founder because one person in the relationship or both people in the relationship think what they do is the most important thing. So one person's got a job, they think, well, my job is the most important job, and you kind of, the focus should be on me, and you kind of need to support me in that. And that happened to us as well. But when you work out that that's kind of a disastrous way to go, it's a dead-end street, then you sit back and go, kind of like, sometimes you have to tame your own ambitions in order to keep the relationship alive.
Has there been anything, because you playing Dr. Karl and having Veronica in the first year on the show, has there been anything that Dr. Karl, because the relationship with Susan is like S tier. I mean, you've had your traumas, as you say you had with Jen, but have you learnt anything? Has Dr. Karl ever taught you anything?
Yeah, he's taught me not to be like Dr. Karl. I mean, the gorgeous thing, the best thing about playing Dr. Karl has been that he is he's deeply, deeply flawed as a person, and as a personality. And the fact that Susan continued to love him for 31 years on and off is a miracle. But it's only happened because he was prepared to accept that he made mistakes.
And he's a fictional character, and everyone
as a fictional
Karl
character,
and Susan together.
Yeah. So the writers did a great job with our couple, because they let us explore our flaws but find a way back to each other, which is kind of cool. But I would I would not like to think that I would make the same mistakes that Dr. Karl made along the way.
Well, I wonder if, because Susan is seen as like this oracle of a motherly figure, if part of that is because Dr. Karl kind of put her through so many things.
Yeah, and she's patient, she's wise, she's caring, she's supportive. She's had her own moments. There's been a few moments where she's made some mistakes too. I mean, it's very easy to forget that Susan Kennedy has flaws as well. But
I don't know what you're talking about, Fletch. So,
well, she invited the serial killer to come and live in our house. That wasn't kind of cool, really.
I look, David has to take some of the blame there because I was supposedly treating him at the time. Not
Finn. We're
very
talking
well.
about a character.
We're talking about Finn, yeah.
Robbie Mills.
Yeah, and I mean, it's delightful to pick up a script. This is the great thing about being in our business. You pick up a script and you read it, and you read about your character doing something really stupid, and you sort of go, okay, this is great, because my job is to make the audience believe that I am wholeheartedly doing this, believing it to be the right thing to do. So finding the rationale to play these stupid mistakes is the challenge of acting and the joy of acting.
And having people believe it too. Yeah.
And have people believe it, yeah. So, and the great thing about our job too is, of course, we would get constant feedback because of all the wonderful, interactions we have with our fans, going back to where we started from. That people would email you and say, I loved what you did last night, or you are such a fool. Can't you see that?
How much has social media and stuff increased that like parasocial relationship, I guess? Did you see a market increase of how much people were reaching out and contacting you, or because you'd set up the emails and that kind of thing, it was kind of the same, or was the same people? Yeah,
it's the same people, to be honest. I mean, we all have our social media feeds, which is like the ones that everybody and then there's kind of a general inbox, and then there's people who request with a comment. And on Facebook, the same people tend to message. So it's actually quite a small community. It's not as though the world inundates you with stuff. And so
not until this podcast.
Not until this podcast. But if anyone is listening to the podcast and wants to send me a message, feel free.
You will have to sign up to his weekly newsletter, and he's got a show next year.
I certainly don't do weekly newsletters. That'd kill me. The only downside with social media is we're not quite sure anymore what to believe. We're now moving into a phase of social media where, with AI and so forth, people's sense of outrage, I think, is being increased by seeing material that they think is real, but in fact it's fabricated. And so, in a sense, I'm moving away from social media in terms of information source anymore. I don't look at social media as a way to learn about the world. It's not an authoritative source. It's not a trustworthy source anymore.
Wait a second. Are you saying that the University of TikTok is not a real thing?
I'm afraid so. I mean, obviously there's plenty of stuff on there that's true, but it would be better to find out from an authoritative source that you can check.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame, because it used to be great to go to different social medias when an event was in process, so you'd actually get the most immediate information. But now it's so tough to weed through all the misinformation, the disinformation, and the deep fakes, etc., which is it's a bummer,
Even I get like sucked into it. Like you see something posted and someone's posted it as if it's real, and it's fake. And there's a part of me that wants to get in those comments and go, hey guys, this is not real. Stop getting so upset about it. But then I go, hold on, I'm just adding to the big debate that's going to be a time pit for everyone that they're never going to get back.
Sure. Well, I mean, Tom Holland talked about this on the Rest is History podcast the other day. He says, he posted something which was deliberately satirical. You'd be a fool not to see it was satirical. But, of course, he was inundated with outrage because people thought that he was actually making a statement of truth. So comedy is harder now to do in a way, because there's always going to be someone who sits back and says that you can't possibly believe that, and you go, well, no, I don't. It was satirical.
There needs to be a realigning of everyone's radar online.
Well, plus you've got the algorithm thing where, if you start liking comments that have a particular tone or a particular point of view, then you're more likely to get much more of that, and that will just continue to reinforce your view about the world. Whereas you should actually perhaps be seeking out the opposite view a little bit more.
Let's talk about your tour, but not about your tour. You were talking about people with the drummer playing golf. What do you find yourself doing in between the gigs? What does Fletch and Jen get up to?
I am almost, from the moment I arrive on tour to the moment I get off tour, I am on my computer responding to messages, targeting ads, sending emails to venues, checking that everything's in place to make it work, double checking the tour book to make sure that the hotel we're planning to be in is going to work, that we're going to be there.
So there's no manager for this. You're managing it yourself, right?
Yeah, I manage it myself.
Wow.
And occasionally you sit there and say, okay, I'll take a bit of time off here to read a book or, listen to a podcast or something just to have, while you're in the bus. But and the other thing I do is I just get out and walk. Just, any second you get, even if it's walking around a car park at a services while everyone's getting lunch, just get out and try and get some exercise, because otherwise you'll lock up and fall apart.
Which is to say, basically, for anyone who thinks that Fletch is just trying to pay for a free holiday, he's really not. He's going there and just working constantly to
Yeah. Although, I mean, and this was a fun one. On the last tour, because I managed the whole tour myself, I gave myself 3 weeks off in the middle, where we were, Tack and I were actually able to go to south of France. It was beautiful to go to April's wedding and have a fantastic time. Matty, we missed you at the wedding.
Yeah, I know. I had too many kids. They would have ruined everyone's day in that beautiful castle. April would have killed me.
Well, it was a pretty special day, so we had a great time there. It was wonderful catching up with you and Amy, Tack. And I went off to Italy and saw my son and had a little bit of an Italian sojourn as well. So I had a 3-week break in the middle of the tour, and 34-date tour split up with over 10 weeks. Perfect.
Yeah, it was an absolutely spectacular wedding, which I'm sure we'll talk to April about when she's on. But it was like a movie. It was kind of insane. But I think that I saved the day. I don't know if you remember, but a lot of the windows were open on the chateau in the background.
This was an amazing feat.
And I went and asked the MC, could he ask the venue to close the windows? And they said, we can't do that because there's people's rooms. And we're talking about the groomsmen and the bridesmaids.
Yeah.
So I ran into that building in my tuxedo,
taken a long time with your short legs.
Still, it was my audition for James Bond, and I ran in there. Funny, Matthew, very funny. Ran in there.
I know.
I found the groomsmen. Said, guys, big problem. Got to close all the windows. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, they're open. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
April's going to look. She can't have the back of the photos be these open windows. And they went and they closed them. And we walked outside. Massive applause. Everyone was cheering, saying, you saved the day. They're waving banners. It was amazing. I don't know where they got the banners, but they made them very quickly. So, yeah, I saved April's wedding. I think that's the headline that I'm pitching for.
Is this the definition of narcissism?
Well, attention to detail is important, Matty.
Both of you guys are professional hobby photographers as well. So I can see you doing this. I remember we went to the Upfronts once, which is where a network sort of displays all of the shows that they've got on their slate for the rest of the year. It's a big event. And Fletch had his iPhone out with some special camera attachment, lying almost upside down, trying to get the perfect photo that never was going to be seen ever again. But you got right into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tack's certainly fantastic at getting the right shot and making sure that things are perfect. Have you noticed? But also when you meet people and they want to get a photograph, I'm a bit annoying about that too, because often I'll say, "Give me your phone, and I'll do the selfie," and then I'll say, "Oh no, we can't do it here. The lighting's terrible." So I'll drag them around the building trying to find the perfect light.
Which the stars have learned now. When they're on the red carpets, they take people's phones, take the phone, because they know that they can make them look better rather than having these awkward photos of them everywhere.
It's kind of sad to think that people might have a photograph that they've wanted to have for a long, long time, and they finally get it, and it's terrible.
Fletch, if you get there's an acting gig that comes up, let's just say NCIS Sydney, but it clashes with yours and Jen's tour, what are you going to do?
Well, it depends which was booked first, Matty.
Well, you're booking the music now, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, you could sit there and say, okay, I can rearrange that one to do that one, or I can't. And if I can't, then you just accept it. So, I mean, I've been an actor for 48 years, and in that time, I've done.
You started when you were 2?
Bless you. Everyone knows I'm 68, and I'm quite happy to let everyone know that. In my career, I have done a lot of stage plays. I've done a lot of radio plays. I've done lots of film and TV. There's always really cool stuff. At the moment, I'm doing the voice for a radio play about carers for the United Kingdom, which is really cool. So I'm always looking for little jobs like that. I love doing things like little comedy, short films. There's a bunch of people here in Melbourne I've worked with a lot doing just silly little side bits. So that's kind of my bent, is just doing fun little projects. But I mean, whatever comes along. But as long as it's fun and interesting, I'll probably be there for it, and I'll try and juggle everything that has to be juggled to make it happen.
So you've definitely nailed what you're doing next, and you've always been so good at moving on and focusing on the next thing. How was it for you after us Neighbours finishing once, it's come back, to hear that it was ending again?
I did talk about this extensively on the tour, actually, because the first time it ended, it was shattering. I found it shattering, and I think the crew and the cast did as well, because it was kind of like, how can we be cancelled when there's millions of people watching the show? How can that happen? And but we were, and the show finished, and we said, okay, we'll move on. I went straight to the UK and did a tour of The Doctor Will See You Now, where I showed videos about Neighbours and talked about Neighbours. So I was kind of still in the show. I came back, and they said, Neighbours is coming back. Do you want to be part of it? So Neighbours never ended for me.
Yeah.
The second time around, it was amazing. But because we got that extra 2 years and the extra 400 plus episodes, and we had to start from scratch. I don't know if you felt this, but I did. I felt that they said, okay, well, since we're starting from scratch, what's the perfect Neighbours? What does it look like? And so technically the show was rebuilt to be better. Lighting, cameras. Diversity in the cast was better. Diversity in the crew was better. I just felt like everything was better. And we had 2 years of the best possible Neighbours we could ever make. So by the time we got to the end of it, I just thought, we've done it. I just felt really satisfied. And I felt like if someone wanted to come and make a neighbourish type program again, a show like Neighbours, they could just go to the cupboard and say, where's that blueprint? Where's that blueprint that they had? Oh, yeah, we'll make it like that. So I found it satisfying, and I hope people enjoy the last few episodes because I think they're pretty special.
You're making it sound like you've definitely put Dr. Karl's stethoscope away. Have you?
Well, I can't really see the possibility of it coming back. I mean, it's too expensive a show to make, etc., etc., etc. But that's notwithstanding the fact that, as I say to people, I think that the people who make Neighbours, Fremantle Media, they're very clever. They may come up with another product which, as I say, is neighbourish, that appeals to Neighbours viewers, that satisfies that kind of craving for the type of show that Neighbours was. So fingers crossed that something happens that provides more training for actors in Australia, more training for crew in Australia, more jobs for people in Australia, and lots of satisfaction for the Neighbours audience. What do you think, Tak? What was your reflection about it?
I was sad for everyone, especially the newer cast, because booking a show like Neighbours, you really, you want to live out that initial. For everyone who doesn't know, generally you're given an initial 3-year optioned contract, so it's usually year. And you kind of, I was sad for those people who didn't get to live those out. In the same way, I was sad for like Lloyd and Candace and Emerald, the first cancellation, because they just started, and then they were having to say goodbye. They never really got to have a storyline. So I was so happy when it came back, and they've been able to have the amazing storylines they've had. But when listening to you talk, I can hear you're so good at thinking about everyone else and thinking about the production of it, etc. You're kind of like me, because it was pointed out to me once where I often say, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. When I'm talking about things for myself, I rarely say I think this or I feel this, which is probably a defense mechanism I've built up over time. So you can't. We're both very clever in avoiding the question, but giving a good answer. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's for me. There was no kind of I left. I mean, I had felt like I had done everything I could do on Neighbours and more. So I didn't have to sit there and say, "Oh, I am sad," or "I am this," or "I am disappointed." Like you, I sat there and said, there's a lot of people who are going to lose a job here. And there's a lot of people who have just started on the show who won't get to necessarily fulfill their characters. And there's a lot of audience people who love the show and are desperately going to miss it. So that's kind of at the forefront of your mind. I am used to being a rooster one day and a feather duster the next. So I'll just move on to...
Are you really used to that? Because 30 years of being Dr. Karl, I think you've been the rooster quite a lot.
Sure, but as I said to you, they're 1-year contracts, and you would come up to the point where, we think about it the last 10 years when things were pretty solid, but in the earlier days of Neighbours, it wasn't that solid, and you would come up to your renewal date where they had to tell you whether they were taking up the option, and you really had not a lot of idea whether they would or not.
That surprises me, because you feel like Karl and Susan, basically from the moment they were on screen, it was like, well, this is Australia's family, Like, did it not feel like that way for you?
We had no sense of it at all. We would talk about it often and say, well, the Willis has lasted 4 years, so that's probably the best we can expect. Don't forget the show was still early in its first 10 years. So it's not,
and you never know what
the
network's going to ask for as well.
Exactly.
There was one of the networks when I was there who pitched the idea to Fremantle for the Christmas week, the 5 nights. We want a character to die every night. Yeah. And I heard that the producers pushed back. They're like, hold on, these are 5 people here that we're gonna have to cancel their contracts. And we don't care. We want the ratings.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. It's there's a lot of demands placed upon producers of a program that are hard to answer, and someone's horns going.
Is that a car?
Yeah, I think that might be my car.
Stealing your car.
I'll be back in just a second.
Ari's trying to go for his first drive.
I hope we don't have a home invasion podcast.
This could be interesting.
I mean, Matty, you, I think you departed the show just towards the end of the second season. Yeah. How did you feel about going?
Yeah, it was different for me because it was my decision this time. We had a third kid on the way, and my life was hectic enough as it was with 2 kids and always trying to do a side project and everything. And just the hours, you could never really plan a week in advance if you needed to get away. So mentally, I'd already sort of had that big wrestle with, do I leave this role? What's it going to mean for everyone involved? So I'd come to peace with it in that way. But it was, like you said, for me, it's the interactions of everyone. I've said this before. You see them before the sun comes up. You see them after the sun goes down. You're having a bad day, you talk about it with them. You're having a good day, you talk about it with them. They are a family. And that's the saddest part for me, is like all of those little interactions. And as much as I want them to keep going, like it's just so hard. It's so hard to maintain those relationships. Like I've moved up here, it's not really helping that. But it's just the people, I guess. And that's not even considering what it's like for people who've had this in their living room for decades and decades. The amount of messages you get from people who are saying, hey, I've every single day of my life for the last 40 years I've watched this, and now it's switched off. Switched off.
Yeah. If people are craving Neighbours, of course, our wonderful director Scotty Major has created his YouTube TV station with what's the name of the show? If You Can Make It, I think it is.
Till You Make It.
Till You Make It. So I can encourage everybody to get onto YouTube and have a look at Scott Major's little TV station and TV program, which is a fantastic show. So that's a bit of a sort of Neighbours fix, I think.
It is,
just like this podcast. Hey, Fletch.
Hey, absolutely. Sorry, I need to earn my money.
We brought you here for one reason and one reason only, and you plug everything else.
Everything. I'm just going to leave. Fletch, just go ahead and plug, mate.
Okay, well done. So everybody out there, yes, you know to listen to Bin Night with Tak and Matty. There are going to be some fantastic guests coming up. Even better than me, I've got to say. Far more articulate than me. So keep listening.
Well, we weren't actually asking for that, really, but we're very thankful that you got it. Now, you've got a Christmas song.
Sure. Well, I recorded this song way back because I love swing music. And I love the way that swing music has been integrated into Christmas music a lot. So I wrote a song called If You Want a Happy Christmas, did it with the Pacific Bells, and it's basically banter about the fact that the deep meaning behind the song is that Christmas isn't just about the presents. It's about a lot more than that. And it was a wonderful song. We shot a huge film clip. But the highlight for me of doing it was that Stephen Dennis came in to play Bad Santa, and Chris Milligan and James Mason, two wonderful Neighbours actors, came in and played elves. So that's what I'd like to invite you to look out for. And I have 4 Christmas songs, which are all different. I've got It's Going to Be a Good Christmas, which is an Aussie Christmas song. I've got ballads, and I've got a rock and roll Christmas song as well. And they're all on my streaming platform.
We'll link them all down below. Or
lovely.
In the show notes,
but If You Want a Happy Christmas is kind of my signature Christmas song.
Well, without further ado, here it is.
Paging Dr. Fletcher, Dr. Fletcher to reception.
Hello, my dears. What seems to be the problem?
Dr. Fletcher, we're so upset. Seems that Santa did neglect to answer our plea and leave jewelry under our Christmas tree.
Well, now, ladies, have you been good?
Oh, yes, as good as we could.
The remedy is simple, you see. Put your trust in me. If you want a happy Christmas, come along with me. Forget about the presents under your Christmas tree. If you want a happy Christmas, stand under that mistletoe and kiss, kiss, kiss the one you love with a merry ho, ho, ho.
Did he say no presents? I'm not sure. Dr. Fletcher, if we do as you say, will Santa bring presents today?
Have no fear, he'll appear on Christmas Eve next year.
Can't you help us? Our hearts will break without our Christmas bling.
I'm Santa's man, his right hand. I have just the thing. If you want a happy Christmas, sing along with me.
Okay.
Forget about the presents under your Christmas tree.
No, no, no.
If you want a happy Christmas, stand under that mistletoe and kiss, kiss, kiss the one you love with a merry ho, ho, ho.
And kiss, kiss, kiss the one we love with a merry ho, ho, ho.
Now, ladies, Santa guarantees to always try to please. On this Yule, forget the jewels, sing along with me.
If we want a happy Christmas, we sing along with you.
That's right.
If we want a happy Christmas, all we have to do
It's simple.
If we want a happy Christmas, we stand under that mistletoe and kiss, kiss, kiss the one we love with a merry ho, ho, ho.
If you want Christmas.
Sing along with me.
If you want a happy Christmas.
Under our Christmas tree.
If you want a happy Christmas, stand under that mistletoe and kiss, kiss, kiss the one you love with a merry ho, ho, ho. And kiss, kiss, kiss the one you love with a merry ho, ho, ho.
A lot of people sit back and say that it is an earworm. They listen to it once or twice, and then suddenly they just have to listen to it all the time.
Well, you
It's
could have
exactly
told us that before we made everyone listen to it.
Well, I'm sad. I'm sad to say, when this podcast ends, you'll be ringing me up, cursing me, basically cursing me, because you cannot get the song out of your head.
No, that's what you love. That's what you love about Christmas carols, right? You got to have that. It's got to be that, because it doesn't really count, I think, if it's not going to stick in your head.
Totally. And, you talk about merchandise, of course. Every year I've been sending Christmas cards to people with my Christmas songs included. So
Get on that subscription list of, is it alanfletcher.com? Is that where we've got to go?
No, it's alanfletcher.net, and my music is alanfletchermusic.com. So if you're interested in the music, alanfletchermusic.com. And if you're interested in music and everything else, TV and so forth, it's alanfletcher.net.
That's me.
Well-
I'm going to sit alone with a glass of red and just listen to your music. Turn the lights down.
When do you have
Merry
time for that,
Christmas.
Matty? What are you talking about? Why would you lie to Fletch like that?
Dream, right? I could dream.
Have you got rid of the mould in your house yet? That's the bit I'm worried about.
Yeah, we don't want to mention that he's currently recording in the only bit of the house that the kids don't have access to, and it may be due to the fact that there's some mold in the walls that they can't get.
No.
I can't show you,
No.
but there was just a giant, there's just a big lace monitor, which is like a goanna, a meter-long lizard, just sitting out the window there before.
I love that.
Yeah, we're in the jungle. It's about to eat us. Hey, this episode is about Alan Fletcher. Thank you, Fletch.
Thank you guys. Wonderful chat, and as always, keep looking after yourselves. Matty, I will get up your way. I will come up and inspect the house. But Tack, you're around the corner, so I'll see you very shortly.
No, for sure. And look, Fletch, we always like to shower the guests with compliments at the end. You as a person are... You think so deeply about everyone around you, and that's exemplified by the fact that you would join the union, you would corral the cast, and it's truly the genuine person you are. You're so community orientated, and it's a wonderful thing to be around. On top of being an amazing actor and mentor with everything else, so we're very lucky to have you on the show. And yeah, everyone go listen to his music because he does it all with love.
Oh, thank you, guys. You're very, very kind. I love you both. And like you, Matty, I miss everybody very, very badly. And hopefully we'll all get to do it again together one day. But in the meantime, everyone's have a wonderful success.
Thanks for the good times, Fletch.
Cheers,
we'll speak
guys.
to you soon.
Love you to speak. Bless you.
Ooh. A bit of an oldie for Fletch, that song, but a goodie nonetheless.
It is. It still hits. It bangs. That is Alan Fletcher, the superstar.
Gotta love seeing Milligan in there too. We've got to have him on the pod. I haven't spoken to him for a long time. Have you spoken to him recently,
Mate, he's one of the most interesting people I know. We have to have him on.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, coming back to Fletch for a sec, what a lovely guy, and really lucky he lives around the corner from me and he has a swimming pool. So this summer, I guess he's going to Fletcher's place to swim.
Wait, does he actually invite you over?
He has in the past, and I'm sure he has actually told me that him and Jen love having people come over to use the pool, even if you don't want to talk to them. He's like, no, just come, because they pay for the pool to be there, to be warm, to be cleaned, etc. And no one's left there to use it. So very happy for us to go over.
Yeah, but he
which
makes
just
sure that
exemplifies
he's
how
not
nice
there
he is.
while you're coming over. Is that right?
Maybe that's what he meant. I didn't think about it from that side.
I
You could be
can't
right,
believe you
Matty.
didn't pick it up. That's Fletch, man. That's Fletch. He's too busy being a superstar on the road, signing autographs, doing things for the fans.
You know what? Amy and I went to their New Year's Eve party last year, and it was only like, less than 10 people, and it was so much fun. And I thought, like, oh, it'll be nice, it'll be pretty chill, and we won't get home too late because we were still trying for a baby at that time. We weren't sure where Amy was at, and yeah, we left at like 1:30 or something a.m. and they were still going, and they weren't stopping anytime soon. So
Oh yeah.
it was such a fun time.
It's funny though, right? Like he's been on television that long that he's been through the look. Like Fletch, if you're listening, I'm not calling you old. This is absolutely not what I'm saying. But he's been on for that long that he's gone through the different stages, like that rock star period of people on television where you could party all night long till the sun came up and go on to set and keep recording and whatnot. He's been through that, and he's come out the other side without any addictions.
Well, I mean,
that we
perhaps
know.
he's still in it because, him and Jen touring together, I'm sure they're having a lot of fun. It sounds like they're having a lot of fun. I'm really excited for
Keeping the spark alive.
all of their music and well, definitely keeping the spark alive. But no, definitely excited for all the music they're going to be making. They are both workaholics, really, but so creative. And in a few years, their music's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. It's going to be really interesting to see where it goes. But speaking of music, Matty, I went to Lewis Capaldi recently.
That guy's so
Amy.
funny. He is so funny.
It was our first date night without Ari, which was nice. It's good
There you
that
go.
he didn't go because he probably would have ruined his ears. We need those little baby earmuff things. But it was so good. His voice is extraordinary. And it's so good to see him back on his comeback tour because he had a mental health break, which he very much needed, and he had to cancel his last tour to Australia. So it was nice for him to come back. And he said he loves touring, so he's going to come back to Australia, which is great. The one thing I was thinking, though, during the concert, you listen to him talk, thick Scottish accent. You listen to Celine Dion talk, thick French Canadian accent. You listen to them sing, no accent. Where does it go? What happens when people
That's a good
sing
point.
that their accent
That's a good point.
disappears?
No, I agree. Growing up, I used to listen to, like, my circles were a lot of like pop punk music. You'd have these young Aussie bands that would just have like this really thick American whiny accent. And I'm like, guys, what's wrong with our accent? But people do it, don't they? Is it because you try and sing like whoever you're inspired by? Is that it, or is it just like a transatlantic accent, but it's for music?
My
It needs
guess
to be
is I don't think anyone
accepted.
tries to do it. I think it's because when you sing, your mouth has to shape out the vowels and hold them. And so when you do that, it creates like this singing accent.
I don't know. Then you get people like rolling their R's and stuff and saying grass instead of grass, and there's all of those. I don't know. That's a good point.
Well, I mean, it depends on the genre for sure. I mean, some genres are far more like speech-like, and so that obviously is going to have more of an accent. But in the pure like ballad singing kind of stuff, and even pop singing, where it's much more of a strong singing vocal, because like if you got like punk rock and stuff, then that's much more accented because it is more like a melodic speaking as opposed to a singing. But pure singing, I think, because you're functionally making your mouth move in a way that creates the sounds, then I think that's where it goes. But it's really strange. And I was
There you go.
I was listening to him talk and listening to him sing, and I was just like, I don't get where this accent's gone.
I'll tell you the best part about that is that I know that you are going to lose sleep over this. I know that you're going to lose sleep until you figure out exactly why this happens, so that next time someone brings it up, you have the answer, because that's the kind of guy you are.
Can you hear that?
And that
Matty?
makes me happy. What's that?
Can you hear that? I
Hello?
think someone's going through my bin. Oh, wait, here it is. It's Peeping Tom. He's been going through my bins again. What's going on, Peeping Tom?
Hello, fellas. How's it going? You good?
Well, it was better up until I heard you in my bins. What are you doing there?
I'm going down the bins, ain't I? Rummaging through the bins. I'm the bin night bins. That's what
You're
I'm doing.
Peeping Tom.
Gosh.
Oh, I think you have to explain that to everyone. Why are you Peeping Tom? Tom?
Well, yeah.
Let's
It's a
not mention the
reluctant-
convictions.
It's a reluctant nickname given to myself by Mr. Tim Kano. This goes back to when I worked at Neighbours. You know, I was doing the behind the scenes, and Tim used to say I was always there, wherever he was there, wherever he looked, I was there with the phone, with the camera, filming all my behind the scenes stuff. Some cast loved it, some not so much. So hence the nickname, Peeping Tom. So yeah.
You're Peeping Tom of Bin Night, and you've been rummaging through bins. So what's been going on in people's bins, Tom?
Well, yes, I've been going down. What are we calling our listeners? Did we say bin chickens? Did we say that at some point?
I think that needs a little bit more explanation, though. I think bin chicken might be just for the Australians here. So, look, if you do this right now, jump on your phone and Google bin chicken, and you'll see these photos of this beautiful white bird with a big, long black beak. These things are everywhere over here, and they essentially just they scavenge from the bins. Look,
Well, they evolutionarily got those beaks so they could go into plants and stuff and dig and get a long reach. And what they discovered, these birds, because they're very smart, is that those were perfect to put into bins and grab any goodies left there. Now, so we are very affectionately referring to our audience as bin chickens because in Australia...
we love bin chickens. We love bin chickens.
It's a love-hate relationship. We hate how much of a mess they can make in the bins.
Don't say that. Don't
But
say
they've
that.
become iconic and and are now an iconic Australiana thing. So our bin chickens at home, you are now part of the podcast via being a bin chicken. And what Peeping Tom does, he goes and finds these bin chickens in the bins. And what do you do with these bin chickens, Tom?
Right, I like it. Bin chickens, like it. So last week you guys, we solicited for our problems from our bin chickens that they wanted put in the bin, right? So we've had loads and loads of messages, so thank you. So I'm going to put a few of their dilemmas to you guys now. But the first one is from Patrick. And I know Patrick is a massive, massive fan of not just Neighbours, but of you guys as well. And he says, "Dear Tak and Maddie, Patrick here, big fan, loving the pod." Thanks for that, Patrick. My wife and I have watched Neighbours religiously for 15 years together, to the point it's the only thing apart from our kids we seem to have in common. Can you recommend other ways we can now fill our time now that Neighbours has ended?
Well, it's hard when you say excluding this pod, because I'd just say keep listening to the pod on repeat. That's all you need to do. With that entertaining, you can listen to us 10 times. No, apart from our kids. So, I'm without knowing the age of your kids, I'd be like, well, hang out with your kids a bit more, maybe. But maybe you don't like them, Patrick, which is also understandable. No, I'm sure they're lovely. Well, I'm sure that you and your wife originally connected and had things in common that you liked doing with each other. So what were those things? Can you do more of that? Did you like music? Is an Alan Fletcher gig coming nearby? You could go to an Alan Fletcher gig, start listening to his music. I'm sure there's things that you, when you first met, you liked doing, even if it was just going out and having dinner. Figure out what those things are. I'm hoping, or I'm pretty sure you didn't have kids and then started dating. So rekindle the old ways of what you did when you first started dating, and try going down that path. That's my best advice.
Let's just hope the kids aren't listening too. Look,
I wasn't talking about what you were talking about. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Well,
I know it's been nice, but
hey, my wife and I are at home and we've got half an hour to kill. What are we going to
You don't
do? What do
need
you
half an
expect me
hour.
to
What are you
think of?
talking about? Would you spend 29 minutes getting undressed?
Yeah, okay, you know me too well. Look, I think there's another show, quite like our show, that's a little north of Sydney, in a small beach town, and they've managed to find a way to keep going, and that's Home and Away. If you
Ooh,
didn't see it in the
you're
final
gonna
episode,
make some people angry to be suggesting they go to the dark side, Matty.
I just did an audition for Home and Away. I'm hoping to get the gig. Hire me. No, I didn't. Yes, Home and Away, I guess. Or you know what? I've got another one. Let's do this. We're going to get you, Patrick, and your wife on the episode speaking a new language in you got 12 weeks. All right? You're going to use this half hour every day to speak a new language, and we need fluency. We're going to use AI to try and respond to you, and we'll see how you go. Thanks, Patrick.
So, Tommy, have you been rummaging through anyone else's bins?
Yes, I have. So this one is actually anonymous. They don't want to reveal their name, and I can understand why, having read this problem. Dear Tak and Maddie, I'm absolutely dreading Christmas this year. Sorry to hear that, anonymous. My husband's father is joining us for Christmas, and his personal hygiene is awful. I'm so worried his odour will ruin our Christmas, especially when we sit down to eat. Please help.
What you should do, if he's your father-in-law, you blame it on your husband, because clearly he hasn't had the kahunas to go up to his dad and sort this problem out. He should be the one going up to him and get, hey, Dad, you might not be aware, but you have an odour. So we need to sort this out, and I'm here to help you, right? So because he's not doing that, you go up as the wife, as daughter-in-law, and say, look, your son, let's call him Joe Schmo, your son Joe Schmo, he's been complaining a lot to me, and he keeps telling me that you smell. And I don't smell it. You know, I think you smell great. But maybe you should have a shower, and you can gift him some cologne. Or you could even just gift him cologne. But, oh, look, the kids are loving this. I don't know why you're suddenly old too, but your kids are loving this. Here's some cologne. You should try it. Or you get some Febreze and you accidentally spray him. He's like, oh no, sorry, I thought you were the couch. And hopefully his odor settles. Or you get some scented candles and just put them everywhere. And hopefully,
you got to gift him like 6 or 7 different roll-on deodorants and nothing else.
I have no idea why people are asking us for to solve their dilemmas. Yeah, and Tom, peeping Tom, go back and get back in the bin. We don't need you anymore. All right, thanks very much. Bye.
I kind of like Tom.
Yeah, he's been pretty good to us, to be honest. So thanks, Tom, for being.
Jeez, he didn't even say goodbye.
To the pod. No, he's straight back in the bins. That's what happens here. So, Matty, you got another joke for us?
Do you think the the bin men that pick up the bin and they you know how like in the Garbo. The Garbo, they're not the ones with the automatic thing that picks it up and lifts it up. The ones that run around, pick them up and throw them in the back. Do you think the bin men get training for that, or do you think they just pick it up as they go along?
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Oh, my God.